It's a very lovely afternoon. It's a very lovely afternoon to everyone watching Parliament TV, the station that is dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you. To be with you this afternoon, my name is Salisalila Smata. We'll keep you company up to the time that we enter today's transmission. But of course, I'm not joined alone. I'm not alone. I'm with my colleague.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Muta. My name is Muyunda Akatama Joe, and of course we're joined by our two sign language interpreters. That's Chola Kaoma and Jason Manda.
Okay, so we'll take a quick look at business that took place on the floor of the House yesterday, 16th September 2025. So when business commenced, Joe, what did we have yesterday?
Yes, indeed. So, Madam Speaker did make some announcements, and in the first announcement, Madam Speaker informed the House that she received communications to the effect that in the absence of the leader of the opposition who was attended to other business, the Patriotic Front Whip, Mr. Anton Mumba, Member of Parliament for Kaktashi, had been appointed acting leader of the opposition from Tuesday 16th to Wednesday 24th September 2025.
Madam Speaker also informed the House that in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 176.3, she had made a change to the composition of one committee, and this is the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources. Mr. Malama Mofunelo, MP, to replace Ms. Maureen Mawonga.
Yes, indeed, and in the other announcement, Madam Speaker recognized the presence in the public gallery of visitors from Nangoma Parliamentary Constituency in Mumba District, and Madam Speaker welcomed the visitors to the station.
Then after that, there was yet another announcement this time around. Madam Speaker informed the House that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development had invited all honourable members of Parliament to the handover ceremony of ambulances that were procured using the Constituency Development Fund. And in an announcement, she stated that the ceremony will be officiated by the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on Wednesday, 17th September 2025 at the Lusaka Agricultural Show at 10 hours. She urged all honourable members of Parliament to be seated by 0930 hours.
In the other announcement, Madam Speaker did remind the House that before the House adjourned in August 2025, she had informed the House that Parliament Radio will be migrating to a new satellite provider, and that all Parliament radio sites will be off air during the migration process. Madam Speaker stated that the migration process took place successfully and that all sites were back on air.
And then after that, there was another announcement where Madam Speaker acquainted the House with the presence in the Speaker's gallery of Ms. Estelle Colonier, Deputy Head of Division for Parliamentary Cooperation within the Department for European Union and International Affairs in the Parliament of the Republic of Austria. Madam Speaker informed the House that Ms. Colonier was in Zambia on an internship program which inter alia focused on three things, namely public participation in the work of the National Assembly, European Union cooperation with the National Assembly of Zambia, and participation of youth in Parliament's democratic process. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, welcomed the guests.
And in the last announcement, Madam Speaker informed the House that the debate on the motion of thanks would commence on Tuesday 16th until Thursday 25th September 2025. Madam Speaker further stated that members from the back bench would debate during the first 5 days, while the front bench would debate on the last 2 days.
You're still watching Parliament TV, and we're just giving a recap of the business that took place on the floor of the House. So after those announcements, there were matters, urgent matters without notice that were. Then there was a motion that was by Chisamba Member of Parliament, Ms. of this assembly, be recorded for the exposition of public policy. We expect debate on this particular motion today. Then at about 18:22, the House then adjourned. So now we'll take a look at the business that is expected to be considered on the floor of the House today.
Yes, indeed, today 17th September 2025, so the outlook over the order paper is like this. We do have 4 ordinary questions under Standing Order 8. These are questions of ordinary nature. 1 private member's motion, 1 bill, and orders of the day. Muta, maybe we run our viewers through the details of the questions to be considered.
Okay, so we have 4 questions on the order paper. The first one will be posed by Mbabala, Member of Parliament. This question will be directed at the Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development. He wants to know why farmers in Mbabala Parliamentary Constituency are not able to access agricultural loans under the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission CEC, and what measures the government is taking to ensure that affected farmers benefit from the CEC loans.
Kasama Member of Parliament, Ms. Sibongile Mwamba, to ask the Minister of Energy in 2 parts. She wants to ask the Minister how the government intends to address the current electricity inefficiencies in terms of power generation and transmission, as well as losses during distribution under the existing vertically integrated structure, and what measures have been taken to improve ZESCO's financial stability, transparency, and responsiveness to consumer needs.
Then after consideration, questions for oral answer, understanding order number 80, we do expect a motion to be moved by Mr. Mpundu. This is Ankana Member of Parliament, and this is a private member's motion, and this is to set up a film fund that in order to promote the growth of the film industry in Zambia, this House urges the House to set up a film fund. After that, Joe?
After that, we do have the message from the President. That's the reconsideration over the called the Security Television Public Protection Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2025.
Then after, we expect the order of the day, and this, you'll recall, is a resumption of debate on a motion that was moved yesterday by Chisamba Member of Parliament, Ms. Chushika Sanda. She moved the motion, thanks the President's address, that the thanks of this Assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the President's address. So we do expect that resumption of a debate will continue, and after that we'll call it a day. So Joe, that is the picture of business in the House today.
Yes, indeed, but we still also have 2 questions. We do expect Mr. Fuvi also to pose a question to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Mr. Simo Zingiri, Wembe Member of Parliament, also has a question to the Minister of Transport and Logistics.
And we keep saying that if you want to follow deliberations, parliamentary deliberations, please just join us on the various platforms. On DSTV, we are on channel 272, and then on Twitchstar, you can also catch us on channel 5. Not forgetting online platforms, you can get us on the National Assembly of Zambia Facebook page, and you'll be able to follow deliberations. And like we say, if you're in a place that you're not able to watch parliamentary deliberations but have access to radio, you can also listen to our sister station, Parliament Radio. So in a short while, we'll take you to the House for the live parliamentary proceedings. As you can see, Madam Speaker's procession making its way into the chamber. We can only say, enjoy watching Parliament TV.
Madam Speaker. Yeah.
And sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us all eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, O one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, O one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Honorable members, I have two announcements. The first one, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Nakambala Private Primary School in Mazabuka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. The next announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Roigo Christian School in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. You are welcome. You may take your seats. Honorable members, I have a ruling to deliver on a complaint by Dr. C. Andeleki, Member of Parliament for Katombola constituency, against Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, Member of Parliament from Pika constituency, over statements attributed to Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, in an article entitled "Stand as MP to Debate Freely, Kapyanga Tells Speaker Muti," published in the News Diggers newspaper, issue number 2031, dated Friday, 4th July 2025. I order Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, Member of Parliament from Pika constituency, to go and stand behind the bar of the House. I also instruct the Sergeant at Arms to take the Speaker's mace and go and stand behind the member. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that on Wednesday, 9th July 2025, my office received a letter of complaint from Dr. C. Andeleki, Member of Parliament for Katombola constituency, against Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, Member of Parliament from Pika constituency, for remarks attributed to Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, published in the News Diggers newspaper, issue number 2031, dated Friday, 4th July 2025, under the headline, Stand as MP to debate freely, Kapyanga tells Speaker Muti. Dr. C. Andeleki, MP, asserted that in the detailed article by Mr. Mwenya Mofia on page 6 of the paper, Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, was, among other things, quoted accusing my office of bias against Patriotic Front Party PF members of Parliament when presiding over the House. Dr. C. Andeleki, MP, stated that Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, allegedly cited the following reasons for his assertions against my office. 1. I frequently shout at opposition members of Parliament, regardless of how constructive or objective their contributions are. 2. I often rule opposition members out of order or cut them off in mid-speech while allowing even trivial matters raised by ruling party members to proceed. And 3. I have failed to announce the rightful leader of the opposition despite receiving communication from the PF party. Dr. C. Andeleki, MP, further averred that Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, urged me to stand for election in 2026 so that I could freely participate in parliamentary debates. Dr. C. Andeleki, MP, contended Kapyanga, MP's comments contravened Section 19D of the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, Chapter 12 of the Laws of Zambia, and the Standing Order 222B of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024. In line with parliamentary practice and procedure, and in accordance with the rules of natural justice, on Friday, 18th July 2025, the Office of the Clerk wrote to Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, to confirm whether the comments in the said article were correctly attributed to him. In response, Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, confirmed that the statement published in the News Diggers newspaper, dated 4th July 2025, was correctly attributed to him. He alleged that he was summoned to my office over the matter earlier in the month, where he unreservedly apologized for his conduct. Further, he stated that he wished to officially extend his apology to me, the House, and the nation for the contemptuous comments. On the same day, the Office of the Clerk wrote to the Editor-in-Chief of the News Diggers newspaper requesting the newspaper to confirm whether the statements alleged to have been made by Mr. F.R. Kapyanga MP were correctly attributed to him. It is noteworthy that all attempts to get a response from Newsdigger's newspaper proved futile. Honorable members, the complaint that by Dr. C. Andeleki MP raises the issue of a member committing contempt of the House by making statements that are disrespectful or reflect on the character or impartiality of the Speaker in the discharge of the Speaker's duties. In this regard, Section 19D and E of the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, Chapter 12 of the Laws of Zambia provides, and I quote, 19, any person shall be guilty of an offense who, D, shows disrespect in speech or manner towards the Speaker, or E, commits any other act of intentional disrespect to or with the reference to the proceedings of the Assembly or of a committee of the Assembly or to any person presiding at such proceedings. End of quote. Further, Standing Order 213.1 and 2 sets out the manner in which members should conduct themselves and states as follows, and I quote, 2131, a member shall at all times a member that other members generally into disrepute, end of quote. Further, Standing Order 222B of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024 provides that, and I quote, 222, in addition to instances under Section 19 of the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, the following may constitute contempt of the House. B, a reflection on the character or impartiality of the Speaker in the discharge of the Speaker's duties, end of quote. Additionally, eminent writers on parliamentary practice and procedure, S.L. Shakda and M.N. Kao, in their book entitled Practice and Procedure of Parliament, 7th edition, New Delhi, Lok Sabha 2016, states at page 304 as follows, and I quote, it is a breach of privilege and contempt of the House to make speeches or to print or publish in libels reflecting on the character or proceedings of the House or its committees, writings reflecting on the House or its committees or members are punishable by the House, as contempt on the principle that such acts tend to obstruct the House in the performance of their functions by diminishing the respect due to them, end of quote. Further, Eskin May, in his book entitled Parliamentary Practice, 24th edition, at page 263 states that, and I quote, reflections on the character of the Speaker or accusations of partiality in the discharge of his duties and similar charges against the Chair of Ways and Means have attracted penal powers of the Commons, end of quote. From the authorities cited above, it is clear that it is a breach of parliamentary privilege and contempt of the House for a member to make statements that are demeaning and reflect negatively on the character and impartiality of the Speaker. Honorable members, I referred the matter to the Committee on Privileges and Absences for consideration. The committee met on Tuesday, 29th July 2025 to consider the matter. In this regard, 3 witnesses, the committee met on Tuesday, 29th July 2025 to consider the matter. In this regard, 3 witnesses, namely Dr. C. Andeleki, MP, Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, and Mr. Ulanda Komesha, acting news editor, News Diggers newspaper, appeared before the committee. The submissions of the witnesses are set out below. 1. Dr. C. Andeleki, MP. Dr. C. Andeleki, MP, confirmed that he was the author of the complaint against Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, filed to my office on 9th July 2025. He therefore placed reliance on his written complaint. The second witness was Mr. Ulanda Komesha, acting news editor, News Diggers newspaper. On behalf of the News Diggers newspaper, Mr. Komesha confirmed that the publication in the News Diggers newspaper, issue number 2031, dated 4th July 2025, was correctly attributed to Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP. He added that the publication was based on a recorded interview conducted by Mr. Mofia from News Diggers with Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP. The third witness was Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP. Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, confirmed that the statements published in the News Diggers newspaper, issue number 2031, dated 4th July 2025, were correctly attributed to him. He relied on his written submissions as contained in his letter to the clerk dated Monday, 21st July 2025. Honorable members, upon evaluating the matter, the committee made the following observations. 1. Based on Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP's own admission and the substantial evidence before the committee, the statements published in the News Diggers newspaper, issue number 2031, of Friday, 4th July 2025, were correctly attributed to him. Secondly, the statements were disrespectful and impugned on the character and impartiality of the Speaker in the discharge of her duties, therefore constituting a breach of privilege and contempt of the House. And third, the remarks Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, not only brought disrepute and to the dignity of the Speaker, but also to the entire House. In determining the appropriate punishment to be meted out to Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, the committee considered Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP's 1, readily admitted the charge, 2, expressed remorse as evidenced by his unreserved apology, and 3, did not waste the committee's time. Honorable members, after deliberating on the aforementioned factors, the committee resolved to recommend that Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, be directed to apologize to the Assembly in line with Section 28(1)(d) of the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act. I note the committee's recommendation that Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, should apologize on the floor of the House because he readily admitted the charge and he did not waste the committee's time. However, I also note that Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, did not offer any justifiable and reasonable explanation, both in his letter of response to the clerk and during the committee's deliberations, for making remarks that impugned my character and impartiality in the discharge of my duties. Honorable members, it goes without saying that the hallmark of speakership is impartiality. Therefore, considering the gravity of the statements made by Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, in public through the newspaper, the News Diggers newspaper, his failure to substantiate the statements, and the need to deter other members from making such atrocious allegations, a stiffer punishment needs to be meted out. In this regard, I am of the considered view that Mr. F.R. Kapyanga, MP, should instead be suspended for 14 days. Therefore, in accordance with Section 28(2) of the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, I now put the question. It's time to make the decision, because it's the House that makes the decision. The question is that the House accordingly suspends Mr. F.R. Kapyanga MP for a period of 14 days. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. No. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. The division is called. We vote. Ring the bells. Which one? Close the bar, clear the lobbies, and lock the doors. The House will vote electronically only using the Bosch multimedia units. The question, for clarity, let me repeat the question. The question is that the House accordingly suspends Mr. F.R. Kapyanga MP for a period of 14 days. Please log in to the system. Have we all successfully logged in? When you hear the paging sound, this vote has opened and voting screen is displayed on your microphone unit. Select the key, the present key. On top of the right side of the screen, you will see the words, please cast your vote. Select one of the options, yes, no, or abstain. Once you have selected one of the options, you will see the words, vote has been cast, on the right side of the screen. When you hear the second paging sound, the vote will close after 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Huh? I stand up. Honorable members, you have just voted. The results are as follows. Yes, 60. No, 26. Abstain, 1. The question is therefore resolved in the affirmative. I now turn to address you, Mr. F. R. Kapyanga, MP. Mr. F. R. Kapyanga, MP, the statement you made in the article entitled "Stand as MP to Debate Freely," Kapyanga tells Speaker Muti, published in the newspaper, in the Newsdiggers newspaper, issue number 2031, dated Friday, 4th July, 2025, was disrespectful and impugned the character and impartiality of my office in the discharge of my duties. The statement did not only bring the dignity of my office into disrepute, but that of the entire House as well. Therefore, the statements constitute a breach of parliamentary privilege and contempt of the House. The House is in this regard displeased with your conduct. It is my sincere hope that you will refrain from such conduct in future. Let me remind you, and by extension, the entire House, that your right to freedom of speech is not absolute, as it does not extend to unlawful speeches made outside the House or any labels published in the print media. I therefore urge you to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the dignity and decorum of the House in relation to your freedom of speech. Mr. F.R. Kapyanga MP, before you take the walk of shame, I wish to inform you that in accordance with Section 28(3) of the National Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act, during the period of your suspension, you shall not, 1, enter the premises of the Assembly, and this extends to the National Assembly Motel. 2, you shall not participate in any activity of the Assembly or any committee that you are assigned to in your capacity as a Member of Parliament. And 3rd, you shall not be paid the salary or allowance that you are entitled to as a member. It is my earnest hope that this will be the last time you exhibit such undesirable conduct. I now order you, Mr. F.R. Kapyanga MP, to proceed on 14 days suspension with effect from today, Wednesday, 17th September 2025, until Tuesday, 30th September 2025, as resolved by the House. I thank you. You a good rest. We proceed, all the honorable members, we proceed. Urgent matters without notice. There are 3 indications. We start with the honorable member for Lumezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My issue is directed to the Minister of Tourism, and I've discovered that the Minister is not available, and I wish to direct the attention to the Leader of Government Business, the owner, Madam Vice President. Good afternoon. Madam Speaker, the issue is about human-animal conflict in Rumezi district. And as it is now, we have a situation where elephants from Kasungu National Park have really come into the side, and people along the road or the border along Kasungu National Park have no peace at all. And in the recent past, there has been a death, and as well as it is now, there is no movements of the people, because these elephants have been moving even during the daytime. So it is also a concern to the motorists driving along that road. Madam Speaker, for the sake of the record, these elephants are coming from Kasungu National Park, which were brought from Luwonde National Park and brought into Kasungu National Park, which is close to the Zambian side. And my question, Madam Speaker, is when is the ministry going to take full control of these elephants so that my people in Rumezi can have a safe life? They can be relieved, because now we are going to rain season where they will have problems in attending to their fields. I wish to submit, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lumezi. What I can say is that the issue of animal-human conflict is well known to the government, and it's a matter that we have debated on the floor of this House through questions, through ministerial statements, And I believe that some measures are being taken. For example, in Livingstone, where a fence is being erected. I know that in Chama South also something is being done. We had constituted a committee. There is a committee that is also been constituted to look into these issues, to see how we can deal with the issue of human-animal conflict. The only observation that I have made is that our people also need to be sensitized, because they are in the habit of provoking these animals. So when an animal is provoked, heat, there's so much noise, the animals will definitely react. So it's a twofold, maybe we can say a two-pronged approach, where we need to sensitize our people and also ensure that fences maybe are erected like they are doing in Livingstone, to ensure that animals do not come and attack the people. It's a problem that has been ongoing. Government is doing something about it. The committee is there. So the issue that you have raised, Honorable Member for Lumezi, does not qualify to be raised as an urgent matter without notice, because it's being attended to. Thank you very much. The next one, the Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My urgent matter without notice is directed to the Minister of Agriculture. Madam Speaker, the PS Technical Services in the Ministry of Agriculture has issued provincial agriculture coordinators throughout the country, directing them that they must remove all bonded farmers from the list of FISIP beneficiaries who do not sell a minimum of 10 by 50 kg bags of maize, and also 7 by 40 kg bags of pad rice to the food reserve agency. Madam Speaker, this directive is not taking into account areas which were severely affected by drought, and also issues of human-animal conflict, which is contrary to what the Minister assured on this floor of the House. Madam Speaker, the situation is so bad that farmers now, they have resorted to go and get Calora, meaning credit, to ensure that they buy those 10 bags, overburdening them even further. So there's a lot of fear among our farmers, and if this is implemented, it is going to affect household and national food security. So I seek your serious indulgence in this matter, because these farmers have no capacity, because there was a severe drought in Chama. So where are they going to get the 10 bags to sell to FRA? So I seek your serious indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Member for Chama. This issue of harvest, maize, food reserve farmers, FISIP, credit facilities, I think it affects a number of members of Parliament. So in order for us to get to address these issues, it's better for the Honorable Minister to come to the House with a ministerial statement, just to brief the House on what has happened, what measures are being taken to ensure that the farmers are prepared for the next farming season without any issues hanging around their necks. So the Honorable Minister of Agriculture to come to the House on Tuesday next week with a ministerial statement to address the issue. Thank you. The Honorable Member for Katombola.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for according the voice of Katombola constituency to ask Madam Vice President an urgent question without notice. But before I do, Madam Speaker, allow me to congratulate His Excellency the President, President Hakainde Hichilema, the Cabinet, and the team that has delivered an unprecedented, colorful ambulances to the whole Republic of Zambia. at a very cheap price, Madam Speaker. Well, almost $80,000 when PF was buying at $250,000. Madam Vice President, the people of Katombola are toasting your government. The question, urgent question, Madam Vice President, some of our people have not harvested, particularly in Mukuni. Mukuni, people have not harvested any food because of the giants, the wildlife, and that other parts, for example, Sekute, parts of Msokotwani and Momba have no food. We are in need of relief. When Madam Vice President, are you going to consider distribution of relief because the lives of our people are threatened? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Katombola. I thought what we do when we have a situation like that is to approach our Honor the Vice President, and I've guided earlier on that when there's a situation of hunger in any of our constituencies, the best that we can do is to approach our Honor the Vice President. She's ready and willing to meet the concerns and address them. So, Honorable Member for Katombola, I suggest you see her Honor the Vice President and see how best that issue can be raised. Because asking a question here, people are hungry. 2 days, 3 days, they are hungry. Even if you ask a question, by the time the answer comes, a week would have passed, people would have suffered. So I suggest that immediately you get in touch with her Honor the Vice President's office to see how this situation can be addressed. Thank you. That concludes urgent matters without notice. We make progress. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. The Honorable Member for Mbabala.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 8. Thank you.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member of Parliament for Mbabala constituency, Dr. Joseph Musanje, asked the Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development the following questions. A, why farmers in Mbabala parliamentary constituency are not able to access agricultural loans under the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, and B, Madam Speaker, what measures the government is taking to ensure that the affected farmers benefit from CEEC loans. Madam Speaker, I wish to sincerely thank the Honourable Member from Mbabala for raising this important matter, which speaks to the heart of stimulating economic growth and agricultural productivity through enhanced rural empowerment activities. Our response, therefore, Madam Speaker, is as follows. A, the Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, under the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, is mandated by the CEC Act number 9 of 2006 to promote the empowerment of citizens that are or have been marginalized and disadvantaged, and whose access to economic resources and development capacity has been constrained due to various factors including race, sex, educational backgrounds, status, and disability. Madam Speaker, pursuant to the enhanced funding appropriated by this August House since 2022, CEEC disbursed approximately 7,860,000 kwacha to 5 beneficiaries in Mbabala parliamentary constituency under its project loan facility. These facilities, with a 5-year repayment period, were specifically targeted at enhancing agricultural ventures such as crop production, irrigation, and livestock development. Additionally, Madam Speaker, about 331,000 was disbursed under the microloan short-term products to 206 beneficiaries. Madam Speaker, to cushion the impact of severe drought experienced during the 2023-2024 farming season, CEEC further advertised a special call for applications aimed at mitigating climate-related challenges while sustaining food security and protecting livelihoods. This targeted support included irrigation systems, agricultural mechanization through tractor and implements, and energy backup solutions. The people of Mbabala Parliamentary Constituency, Madam Speaker, responded positively to this call, resulting in the funding of 4 beneficiaries to the tune of 1,370,640 kwacha. This brings the total to 215 beneficiaries funded by CEC with a total value of 9,561,640 kwacha as at Q2 of 2025. Madam Speaker, on the second question, CEEC, on question B, CEEC is implementing several interventions to ensure inclusivity, accessibility, and sustainability, which include 1, streamlining the loan application and disbursement processes to remove delays and bureaucratic hurdles. 2, provision of digital platforms for loan applications, enabling farmers to apply remotely and track their application status. 3, localized outreach campaigns. 4, enhanced coordination with agriculture extension officers and business development services. And 5, stronger monitoring and evaluation systems to reduce loan defaults and ensure that the funds benefit genuine and productive agricultural projects in all parts of the country, including Mbabala. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. We start with the Honorable Member for Mbabala.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for that response. We do appreciate for those 231 who have been given. However, Honorable Minister, I have a list of applicants from Mbabala constituency who have been pending since 2022, and this list includes even the application from the loyal Mapanza chiefdom for a milling plant. This list, I've pursued it at CEC several times without it being funded. I just corrected tracking numbers because in the constituency office we correct those who apply to try and help them. This is a result of various complaints we receive that people are not being responded to. So we compile these numbers and we send them to CEC, and we continue to pursue, for example, this milling plant by the Mapanza Royal Council, and up to today is not funded. And then in the advert that came out last year, for the drought situation, was saying applicants from provincial centers such as Choma are not allowed to apply. Now, Mbabala is a rural area that needs to benefit from these products, and we cannot accept to be excluded simply because our town is called a provincial town. I thank you.
Now, is that a question or a statement?
2 questions, Madam Speaker.
So the Honorable Member for Mbabala was now debating his question. We'll give him another opportunity next time, but we go to Honorable Member for Namwala.
Not the Minister, answer the first one.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, through you to the Minister. Minister, may I know whether you're in position to know how much EEC has budgeted for this farmer loan program? And if yes, there's a certain amount which was allocated, how much is the fee at the national level and at the provincial level? I submit.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I might not be able to decompose the fee, but I can ably say that in 2021, CEC was given 40 million. 2022, we appropriated 350 million. In 2023, 362 million. In 2024, 392 million. And in 2025, another 392 million. So these are compound figures, but to disaggregate them, we did not prepare for that. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member from Mbabala. The other question was not answered because it was not a question, it was a debate. So now you can ask a question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My straightforward question then is, when is CEC going to respond to the various applications that includes the Mapanza Royal Council application for a milling plant in Mbabala constituency? Thank you.
Thank you. The Acting Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, CEEC has worked on a service charter, which is a document that governs how it should attend to clients. And they are soon going to be compelled that within 14 days of receipt of an application, a response must be given, whether negative or positive. So we will see that the response to what the Honourable Member has asked is attended to. I have taken note and I will take it to CEEC. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. I see more indications, but honorable members, let's bear in mind that this is a constituency-based question relating to the farmers in Mbabala and how they can access agricultural loans. So we need to make progress because we have a lot of work before us. We move to the next question. The honorable member for Kasama Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing the people of Kasama Central constituency to ask question number 9.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Mwamba, Member of Parliament for Kasama Central, is asking the Minister of Energy, A, how government intends to address the current electricity inefficiencies in terms of power generation and transmission, as well as losses during distribution under the existing vertical integrated structure, and B, what measures are being taken to improve ZESCO's financial stability, transparency, and responsiveness to consumers. Madam Speaker, in order to address the current inefficiencies in terms of power generation, transmission, and distribution, government is currently working on the following. In the generation sector, government is working to resolve generation deficit challenges through diversification of the energy mix by reducing dependence on hydro generation, which is affected by climate change. Newton government has targeted to install 1 gigawatt by December 2025. So far, we've commissioned Chisamba solar PV plant at 100 megawatts in Chisamba district and Saranges Milo solar PV plant 25 megawatts both in Central Province. Further, the solar projects which are scheduled for completion by December 2025 are translated to about 550 megawatts. Additionally, Mamba 300 megawatts phase 2 is expected to be completed in 2026. Madam Speaker, government has also introduced net metering, where citizens who generate electricity through solar installations can feed the surplus into the national grid and become active players in solving the energy deficit. So far, 251 producers who are also consumers are now connected to the grid, translating it into 11 megawatts installed capacity. This clearly shows that citizens have heed to our call to participate in net metering as we transition to clean and reliable energy. Further, Madam Speaker, government has also introduced the open access regime, which is meant to promote power trade as well as increase investment in the sector by providing for open and non-discriminatory access to transmission and distribution networks. Madam Speaker, with regards to transmission, a number of interconnectors are under construction, while others are still at feasibility stage. Currently, the Lusaka transmission lines have been upgraded. Government through ZESCO is constructing a 330 kV transmission line linking Zambia to Tanzania to increase both imports and exports. To this end, government is engaging the Southern African Power Pool to negotiate the transfer capacity on the southern import path. On the side, losses are being managed by installing prepaid meters for all residential and commercial customers. We've also introduced prepaid meters for large power users. Through smart prepaid metering, the losses will reduce. Madam Speaker, on B, in 2023, government approved the 5-year multi-year tariff framework to cover the years 2023 to 2027, which was effected in May 2023. This is expected to assist ZESCO in achieving financial stability. ZESCO is also contracting high consumer customers to power purchase agreements to secure revenue by hedging against the foreign exchange rate losses. Madam Speaker, government through ZESCO has also improved revenue collection by installing smart meters that improve billing quality and also reduce administrative and operational costs involved in the billing processes. May I now update this August House as regards to transparency. Madam Speaker, ZESCO is providing online platforms where information relating to customer accounts, statements, bills, power rationing schedules, and ZESCO projects in their areas, tracking applications for power connection, and these can be accessed through phones and computers. Madam Speaker, to improve responsiveness, ZESCO has a call center that operates only a 24-hour service and receives complaints and responds in real time. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. We start with the Honorable Member for Kasama Central.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you for your response, which in turn sounds very perfect, but the challenges still quite remain. And let us be reminded that the challenges that we face in power generation are not just technical matters. They directly affect the livelihoods, the economy, and public confidence. Honorable Minister, with the response that you have given, has the government considered unbundling ZESCO in order to improve the efficiency, transparency, and accountability in generation, transmission, and distribution? I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much for that very, very important question. And indeed, as you rightly put it, Honorable Mwamba, these challenges affect economic development. These challenges affect the livelihoods of our people. But also let's understand that government really has been doing everything possible to ensure that it increases its generation capacity, its transmission capacity, as well as its distribution capacity. When you look at the history of ZESCO, I think you agree with me that there's been a remarkable improvement in investments in this sector. Further, there's also been a lot of movement in trying to ensure that the various, also independent power producers come on board. The main challenge, in fact, the main core in this area has been to improve the efficiency with which ZESCO delivers its mandate. As specifically to the unbundling of ZESCO, I may not be able to comment at the moment because our main thrust right now is to ensure that we improve the efficiency, is ensuring that we improve the generation capacity, is to ensure obviously ultimately that we reduce the deficit, which leads to load shedding. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Madam Speaker, I'm very grateful. Honorable Minister, in providing your answers, you did mention net metering as one of the initiatives that has been brought forward. And Madam Speaker, the President came here and he told us as members of Parliament, go and produce power so that you can make money through net metering. My question to you is, the President gave a directive, in short, that you must incentivize this net metering. As a ministry, are you considering to incentivize this net metering by beginning to pay money in return to those that supply you with power? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Energy.
Indeed, Madam Speaker, I think when you listened attentively, as we did, all of us members of Parliament, when President Hakainde Hichilema came to this House, he really emphasized the improvement of the energy sector. He spent a lot of time on this. When you look back and see what measures have been put in place, net metering, open access, including support in this energy sector, you see that there's been a lot of movement, a lot of thrust. When specifically you look at net metering, indeed, it's also an incentive to give you units, because that's an equivalent of money. Those who want money in cash form, you just have a little bit of time to wait. But those units translate into money, because some high customers who consume a lot of these units, net metering is working very, very well for them. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Bahati.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And Minister, thank you for your statement. Minister, in your response, you alluded to the fact that ZESCO is now constructing interconnectors. Madam Speaker, the previous government initiated an interconnector known as the Kenya-Tanzania-Zambia 33 kV interconnector. And Madam Speaker, the previous government started this line. They did a line from Mulungushi substation to Pensulo, and another line from Pensulo into Chishimba substation, which is in Kasama. So what is remaining is just a short leg from Chishimba to somewhere to Nduma. So Minister, I wanted to find out from you, how far have we gone on the Kenya-Tanzania-Zambia interconnector? Because Madam Speaker, the purpose of this interconnector is to connect Zambia to the biggest hydropower station on the continent, which is in the East African Power Pool, which is in Ethiopia. How far have we gone, Minister? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much for that important question from Bahati. I'm glad you know what's happening in the energy sector. I want to agree with you, yes, that interconnector is very, very important. In fact, last year there was a huge surplus in the eastern region. And had we completed this interconnector, Madam Speaker, we would have had a lot of energy coming from that region. We are looking at that very, very actively. We've invested in this so much more. In fact, for your information, it's not only the Tanzania interconnector, the Zimbabwe-Zambia one as well. I'm coming, Kaidi. Tekanya, boy. Tekanya. There is the energy. Meaning, my friend, take it easy. I'm going to just encourage you to start taking notes so that we are together. It's on a light note. So, Madam Speaker, as I'm speaking right now, I'm representing my colleague, the Energy Minister, who's gone out of the country to talk to these same issues. The challenge you are having is that even when we are able to import power from Zimbabwe, from the north, from the south, there's a limitation in the capacity of the transmission lines. What we have done right now, how far are we? We are very, very far. We've made a significant progress. To tell you the exact quantum, I think I will need a specific question so that I put my information together. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Bwana Mkubwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Minister of Energy, Acting Minister of Energy, for the answers you're providing. Minister, I wanted to find out on the issue of open access in terms of this issue with ZESCO. We've had open access with petroleum, the use of the pipeline, which I think haven't got very clear guidelines, and I think has not worked to expectation of players of that industry. This open access for electricity entails that I'm contrasting it with a question on how you stabilize the financial capacity of ZESCO vis-a-vis issues of open access, because if you give open access, it entails that other players can import power through ZESCO infrastructure and in turn sell on the market. What is the role of Canona in this aspect of open access? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Energy.
Madam Speaker, open access is working and working very well. These are the reforms President Hakainde Hichilema has been talking about. ZESCO infrastructure is a country's infrastructure. So we're trying to invite a lot more players. And obviously some, as they use this infrastructure, these assets, for example, the transmission lines, they pay wheeling charges. What you have asked about Canona is a specific question. And maybe for that specific question, maybe let's bring this question on the floor of the House so that we provide a specific answer. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Kasama Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, net metering is a preserve of the upper Mwambas, also known as, the upper class. It's not for the average citizen. And the average citizen also wants to see progress in real terms and not just in policy pronouncements. What reforms are underway to ensure that tariffs remain affordable for the average citizen? Thank you.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Energy.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for that question. Any business has those in the low class who may come together, obviously, to trade or to participate. There are also those we may call upper Mwambas who we may invest individually. However, Madam Speaker, we provide incentives to any investor who wants to invest in any sector of the economy. As to the tariffs, Madam Speaker, I think there's a study already which is going on in the Minister of Energy, and I'm sure that when the substantive minister comes in place, he may provide more details on this matter. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Acting Minister. I'm checking my time. We don't seem to have a lot of time because we have a motion and then we have two motions. So what I would suggest is when the substantive minister comes, it might be important because of the interest that this question has generated for the Honorable Minister to come to the House with a ministerial statement on this issue so that a number of issues are cleared. So honorable members that have indicated, please bear with me. I will not be able to accommodate you today. Let's wait for the Honorable Minister when he comes to deliver a statement, ministerial statement on this, so that the House is briefed on what measures are being taken. So with that, we make progress. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chiluvi. Chisal. It's Chiluvi. Question number 10. By prior arrangement, the Honorable Member for Chinsari will ask on behalf of the Honorable Member for Chiluvi. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 10.
The Honorable Minister, Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Fube asks the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, A, when government will resume the construction works of the Kasonde Kombo Kombo Chief Fube Road, Chirubi District. B, at what percentage completion the project was as of July 2025. C, how much money has been paid to the contractor as of that date. D, what the estimated cost of the standing works is. And E, whether government will maintain the same contractor for the remaining works. Madam Speaker, in response to the question from Honorable Fube, I wish to inform the House that the Kasonde Kombo Kombo Chief Fube Road has been planned for rehabilitation as soon as funds are made available. However, Madam Speaker, the Ministry had started working on the 51.2 kilometers Mwapekalunga, that's Chief Fube area, to Mayuka via Shimumbi and Ndoki, a stretch which was terminated before the works could be completed due to the non-availability of funds. Madam Speaker, at the time of termination, about 35% of works had been done on the 51.2 kilometer Mwapekalunga to Mayuka via Shimumbi and Ndoki Road. Madam Speaker, the contract sum for the road in B was 63 million kwacha, but only 18 million kwacha had been paid to the contractor for the works done before the project was terminated. D, the outstanding works may have to be reassessed before the estimated cost of the remaining works is determined, as conditions may have changed on site from the last assessment. E, as and when funds are available to do the remaining works on the terminated road, government will have to tender out the works using the standard procurement procedures, which will be open for any bidder. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the response. I would just like to find out from you if you can give an indication of when you think or when the government thinks the funds are going to be available for the Kasonde Kombo Kombo to Chief Fube Road. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, I can confirm that budgeting for the Kasonde Kombo Kombo Chief Fube Road has been planned for next year, and I've also been informed, Madam Speaker, to inform Honorable Fube that he is invited to the office so that they can have a more detailed discussion with the Minister of Local Government. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question? See no indications. Since Honorable Fube has been invited, I think they will discuss in detail. We make progress. The next question, the Honorable Member for Gwembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the good people of the Valley, question number 11.
The Acting Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Honorable Member for asking a question. The question, Madam Speaker, is in 5 parts, which the Honorable Member has asked the Minister of Transport and Logistics. The question is, A, whether the government of the Republic of Zambia has any plans to provide water transport on Lake Kariba between Siavonga and Sinazongwe districts. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. C, how many vessels are earmarked for procurement. D, what the carrying capacity of the vessels at sea is. And lastly, E, what the estimated cost of procurement the vessel is. Madam Speaker, the answers from the Ministry of Transport and Logistics are as follows. A, government has got plans, Madam Speaker and honorable members of parliament, to provide water transport on Lake Kariba between Siavonga and Sinazongwe district. However, Madam Speaker, this initiative will be implemented through private sector participation. While government recognizes the importance of water transport in these districts, the immediate priority is to develop harbor infrastructure across the country in order to attract private sector investment in the provision of water transport services between the districts. Answer to number B, to letter B, Madam Speaker. As indicated in A above, the implementation of this initiative will be undertaken through private sector participation. Madam Speaker, the private parties will be engaged to provide the infrastructure and support the equipment to be used in the facilitation or provision of transport between the two districts using water transportation. C, Madam Speaker, as stated above in A, the number of vessels will be determined and dependent on the private sector investment after the harbors have been developed, Madam Speaker. D is dependent on the private sector again, Madam Speaker, based on the nature of investment that will be done after the harbors have been developed. Madam Speaker, the last part of the question is what the estimated cost of procuring the vessels are. Madam Speaker, there are three types of vessels that we looked at, looking at three different capacities that can be procured for use on the same water facilities. However, we are not limited to these that we will provide. Even the private parties may likely do a due diligence in different areas based on the need. But the three that we looked at, Madam Speaker, a 120-seater vessel costing $580,000. Two, a 32-seater boat, Madam Speaker, may cost 120,000 United States dollars. Madam Speaker, a 7-seater speedboat would cost $50,000. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Acting Minister. Honorable members, let's tone down as we discuss or consult. Let's tone down at the same time, let's follow the proceedings. Supplementary questions, we start with the Honorable Member for Gwembe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the answers given. Honorable Minister, there is some legacy issues to do with transportation. As you may be aware, Honorable Minister, when the Kariba Lake was constructed, the major mode of transport was through the lake, from Siavonga into Gwembe and then Sinazongwe. The bottom road in the 70s became impossible, and up to now, it is still in a dilapidated state that it cannot be used. So the people of these three districts, they are finding it difficult to visit each other and to also transport goods and services. My question, Honorable Minister, what timeline are you looking at, having indicated that you will be engaging the private sector? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Acting Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, over years, there has been very little attention paid to this facility, but the government of the UPND, Madam Speaker, has prioritized infrastructure development here, and in the year 2026 financial year, we have budgeted to start infrastructure development for these facilities. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Madam Speaker, I thank you. Honorable Minister, listening from your response, you indicated that until the harbors are developed, you will not be able to procure the vessel. But like my colleague, Honorable Member for Gwembe has indicated, we have had the vessels in the past, and we still have provisional harbors in Siavonga, in Gwemba Chipepo, and then in Sanzongwe. Why don't we use those in the meantime? Because our people, not only these 3 points along the lake, but we have other places, small harbors or small places where people are doing a lot of fishing, because the mainstay of the people in the Gwembe is fishing. Why don't we get the vessel, even as you look at expanding the harbors themselves? Because that to me appears is something that is going to take more time, maybe 5 years from now. Thank you, Honourable Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Acting Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And indeed, it's a valid concern that has been raised by the Honourable Member of Parliament. But going back to the question that was raised by the Honourable Member for Gwembe, Madam Speaker, we need to do something right for the first time, even in the long-term process. There has not been infrastructure development that has been done in these areas. So the harbors, Madam Speaker, are dilapidated. We need to put structures so that when we buy vessels, they will be able to dock at right harbors. That's why we've got accidents, Madam Speaker, time and again in these areas because of lack of infrastructure where the vessels could dock. So in the year 2026, Madam Speaker, we have committed as a government and ministry to improve the infrastructure and engage the private parties to bring vessels. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Gwembe. You have another question? You don't have?
Nothing.
Okay. Since it's a constituency-based question, I believe we can make progress. I know there is an interest from Nyimbas, Kantashi, but time, we have 2 motions, please bear with me. We need to make progress. Private member's motion, the Honourable Member for Nkana.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that this House urges government in an effort to spur growth of the film industry to create a film fund.
Is the motion seconded?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Seconded by the Honourable Member for Lunte. The question is that in order to promote the growth of the film industry in Zambia, this House urges the government to set up a film fund. Any debate? The Honourable Member for Nkana.
Madam Speaker, I sincerely want to thank you for this opportunity. I remember not long ago I came to this House, asked the members of this House to support me on a motion in which I was asking government to monetize social media. And this House unanimously accepted that, and this House passed that resolution that government must monetize social media. Today, I've come with what may be similar to that particular motion. In this case, I am asking government to set up a film fund. It may interest people that will follow this conversation, Madam Speaker, to understand that a film, by definition, is a movie or a motion picture which is a work of visual art that stimulates experience and otherwise communicates ideas and stories as well as perceptions. Further, Madam Speaker, it will interest this august House that the film industry in Zambia has existed for many years, despite this industry having moved almost on autopilot because of the lack of the ingredients, namely a policy, the film policy, as well as the necessary financing initiatives. This, however, Madam Speaker, has not deterred industry players who over the years have dedicated their time and efforts and have done a fantastic job to ensure that the film industry thrives amidst all these challenges. That is why today we are now able to see local productions being aired across, the borders in popular soap operas like Mpali, and others. Madam Speaker, it must be noted that a well-funded local film industry can create thousands of jobs. Here, Madam Speaker, we must note that the film industry is an eco-employer. It employs both babies as well as old people. You have obviously watched movies where babies have acted as well as old people have acted. And so, at a time like this, when countries, and in particular Zambia, is faced with challenges of unemployment, this move we are making today is one of those that tries to respond to this challenge. Because it will interest you, Madam Speaker, that amongst the jobs that the film industry, can promote includes those around actors, writers, directors, technicians, caterers, drivers, as well as designers. The film industry can also give rise to other associated industries if well funded. These would include, the tourism industry, advertising, fashion, music, as well as hospitality. Madam Speaker, it must further be noted that a well-financed film industry can attract foreign investment and cooperation. I have in mind in other countries where our friends have partnered with big stars across Hollywood. I remember when we were growing up watching movies like Sarafina that depicted the South African struggle for independence. These are movies that attracted renowned actors across the globe. And Madam Speaker, you wish to know, movies like that rakes in billions of dollars. Because one actor in such a movie, Madam Speaker, would walk away with not less than $50 million as a paycheck. Madam Speaker, it must further be noted that film that are shot locally serves as tourism attractions, showcasing Zambia's landscape, wildlife, and culture. I watched a movie not long ago, Madam Speaker, many years ago rather, famous Jack Chang, which was shot in Livingstone. Imagine many other stories being shot in local sites within Zambia, how much tourism, will be spurred. Remember, we watched a movie called The Black Panther. Just the mere fact that there was mention that one of the sites shot was around Livingstone, Victoria Falls, spurred a lot of stories. Imagine the mention that one of the Zambian actors was engaged in the Black Panther, how much Zambia was marketed. Now let me give you, Madam Speaker, some industry perspectives. Best practice from global leaders like India, China, Nigeria, and most recently Tanzania, proves that strategic investment in the local film sector delivers dividends that spans employment creation, cultural heritage preservation, tourism inflow, national revenue. For example, in India's 40% film projection rebate fueled a projected $3 billion in film-induced tourism by 2025. While the Tanzania's presidential documentary, which was called The Royal Tour, sparked a 41% surge in arrivals and unlocked investment commitments exceeding $5 billion, all within a year of release. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, it will interest you that in China, public investment of around 2 billion yuan per year in film was matched by an increase of 18% in heritage site visitation, demonstrating the direct correlation between film visibility and increased domestic and international tourism. These, Madam Speaker, are some of the things that we may have to look at as we attempt to see what can be done to resuscitate this otherwise ailing, film industry, which has basically been uplifted by resilient film actors amid so many challenges. Now, Madam Speaker, it would also interest the August House. The film industry is a billion-dollar industry or economy, if you want to call it that way. One that cannot be managed through an industry. And over the years, the the creative arts has simply been an afterthought. It has moved from one ministry. It used to be local government, under local government. It used to be under the Ministry of Tourism. Now it is sitting under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Madam Speaker, $1 billion sector cannot be left to chance. It is one that requires a very well-defined arrangement. And in this case, I am proposing that there must be a commission that must anchor this industry because of the potential to create employment to the young people who are not employed, because of the potential to create billionaires, because of the potential to rake in the much needed revenues for our country that is aiding in terms of the economy. Madam Speaker, what I'm asking this August House to do today is basically to urge government to create an incentive to fuel this industry. This industry already, without any further support, has demonstrated that it can spur growth, it can create employment, it can rake revenues for government. Would it be so much to ask for government to set aside funds, as evidenced in other countries, the Hollywood, the Nollywood, the Bollywood, and just in our neighbors in South Africa, where countries, governments have set out huge funds where local actors can tap into that fund to tell stories. Here I am saying Zambia has reached a point where we need to tell our stories. Imagine telling the Kaunda story. Imagine telling the Mushala story.
Your time is up. Please wind up.
Imagine telling all these beautiful stories in a film. So what I'm asking, Madam Speaker, is that time has come for government to incentivize the film industry by way of setting aside a film fund. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
May I speak now, Madam?
The Honorable Member for Lunde.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for according me this opportunity to second the motion from my younger brother, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nkana. Madam, the Member of Parliament for Nkana has done justice in justifying why the government should support this motion. And I think I just want to support him with very few words. I would like to consider this motion from a financial perspective. But maybe just a few qualitative issues. There is no contest, Madam Speaker, Zambia has got talent. There is no contest. The talent that we have in the film industry is actually yearning for finances. They are not able to produce high-quality movies. They are not able to produce high-quality entertainment because of lack of funding. Therefore, to create a fund where this particular industry can run to will ensure that the ideas transition into high-quality movies very easily because you will have prepared them. Now, in this process, you create jobs. There's no question about that. You create business value systems. You'll be able to create high-quality entertainment and wealth for all those players in between and among those processes. And when you do that, you will be able to earn more taxes for government, which taxes then can be channeled towards social sectors, whether you are thinking about health services, or educational services, or indeed, social cash transfers, which are aimed at easing the troubles of all those vulnerable groups in our society. Madam Speaker, funding this industry will bring about availability of resources. It won't just do that. It will also bring about the development of infrastructure. And obviously, when you avail resources to these players in the film industry, what they'll do is that they are going to employ skilled human resources. Let me be clear, Madam Speaker. The technicians who are going to sit behind those computers of theirs when editing their films, their productions, will be skilled technicians. The editors will be skilled editors. The cameramen who are going to capture these ideas presented out of scripts are going to be very skilled. And when you do that, when you combine high skill in all those areas, what you are doing is coming up with high quality production. High quality production will also, generate interest from the region, interest globally, and so you grow your industry in that fashion. Madam Speaker, what about infrastructure? Resources is the only sure way, availability of resources, is the only sure way of making infrastructure available, and in fact not only for film production, but for all other ingredients, including tourism. Madam Speaker, in Zambia we have this Lusaka Playhouse in Ridgeway. It's about maybe just about one other, the Kitwe Little Theatre in Nkana East. Now, you can't be a country where in terms of filming, in terms of awards, in terms of, government programs, you only have Murungushi International Conference Center. Otherwise, if you take an event of this quality to the Lusaka Playhouse, a minister won't even go there. If the president can't go there. Even you, Madam Speaker, you may not go there. So, you want proper infrastructure. I have been in places where when you go there as a visitor, you have 3 meetings. Those meetings will not take place in one building. For example, Madam, go to Washington, D.C. for a meeting. If you have 3 days, those guys there will make sure your first meeting is in James Madison. Your next meeting the following day will be at Hotel Monaco. The other day, you are going to have it at the Capitol Hill. Why do they do that? It is promotion of their culture. It is promotion of their development. It is also motivating those who have gone there. So when you go back home, you should be able to translate what you would have learned into development. And thank God for such motions. Madam Speaker, even a visit at the Lincoln Memorial is able to give you morale. It is able to stimulate something in you. But let me conclude my support for this motion. Madam Speaker, as I say, this is a struggling industry, and injecting funding in this is a blood life, to this struggling industry. Madam, injecting money into this industry will foster talent. It will foster, innovation, idea generation, and the transition of those ideas, as I said earlier, into screens. And this is what we are looking at. Madam Speaker, it will encourage indeed, production designs that will be admirable. Production capabilities embedded into this value process will ensure quality, and we'll all be happy. But availability of finances will also facilitate benchmarking. Madam Speaker, we want these actors in Zambia to be exposed to global standards. For that to happen, we must have benchmarking programs within the industry. I imagine if we take our people to the United States of America, you take them to Los Angeles, they go and witness what happens in Hollywood. And then you fly them across to the East Coast. You take them to New York. They go and see what goes on in Bronx, what happens in Queens, what happens, Madam Speaker, in Manhattan. And then they bring these ideas back home. They bring these ideas back home. You have a situation, Madam Speaker, where our film industry will create so much wealth that the Minister of Finance will never say, I have no money to create a road. There will be so much taxes. Madam Speaker, these taxes will ensure that the Minister of Finance will never deny the Minister of Energy to import power which will plug load shedding. Madam Speaker, this industry, my young man did so well to project that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is time to tap into it. It is time for us to support these ideas so that we enable our actors to become wealthy so that government can tap from them. Madam Speaker, I wish to support my young man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any further debate? The Honorable Member for Solwezi East.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for according me this opportunity just to react to the motion on the floor of the House. In as much as it sounds so articulate and beautiful ideas, I'm not supporting the fact that they are proposing that the government should set up a film fund for the reasons that I'm going to state, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, film fund indeed, like the World Cinema Fund, provides support financially for film projects, often focusing on less represented countries or regions and independent filmmakers, for the reasons that my colleagues have stated, to contribute to their livelihood, also to the GDP. Madam Speaker, just last Friday, the President was in this House addressing the nation and addressing us, the members of Parliament, concerning the state of the economy here in Zambia. Madam Speaker, he stated that we are just recovering from the debt that the country accrued and also the shock of the climate change, the drought that we had. And because of the good policies of the government and the visionary leadership of the President, we have seen that 90% of the debt that has been restructured, and this has resulted in economic growth, at least averaging 5.2% between 2021 and 2024, whilst it was just growing at 1.5 between 2017 and 2020. Madam Speaker, there are many platforms in this world where those people or individuals intending to venture into the film industry can rely upon free money, grants, as opposed to the government creating a fund. Madam Speaker, Ukwishibotuntu is very important. Utuntu. Let me just explain that. Madam Speaker, what I mean is...
Order, honorable members. Honorable Member for Solwezi, as you debate, please debate through the chair. Honorable Member for Nkana, give an opportunity to the people who are either supporting you or not supporting you to express themselves. They gave you an opportunity when you were debating, they were quiet and listening. So you should also listen so that you can be able to respond to them adequately when your time comes. So may the Honorable Member for Solwezi East continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I was saying, Kwishwatundu, just knowing things is very important. Knowledge is power. Madam Speaker, I just want to give consolation to my colleague that he can utilize platforms that are already existing. And we have a number of world grants that are there, free money grants. So I want to provide just a few of the examples. List of world grants available worldwide, where individuals, companies, organizations can tap into that money. All that they need is to write proposals and tap into that money and venture into the film industry. We have, for example, Madam Speaker, international film grants. This provides up to a tune of $35,000 to an individual. This is yearly. We have talent development program in Berlin. We have the short film competition worldwide. Underrepresented filmmakers running. Sports and trail running. Female journalists, those with ambitious projects as females. Feature and episodic documentary worldwide. Fund for investigative documentary worldwide. Fund environmental documentaries. Documentary marketing for female filmmakers. Environmental hope. Positive projects worldwide. Post-production fund for documentaries. And the Human Rights Feature Film Fund. These are all 15 of them, just examples. And there are so many of them, Madam Speaker. These are platforms that already exist, free money. So why should government set up a film fund and use the money that is supposed to go to Mushindamo, to Solwezi East, to work on the Solwezi Kipushi Road, which is economic, to bring in more CDF so that we are able to support the local communities, the rural electrification and the many aspects that have been articulated here. Madam Speaker, this is free money. So if those people who are listening to this debate, they want to venture into film industry, let them just get the answer, get the records, or even go online and find where these lists for grants are available worldwide. Let them tap into the money that is free, and then they are able to grow the film industry. They are able to entertain. They are able to enable themselves live better. So money is out there. So why should the government set up a film industry? I mean, a money or fund. That is unattainable, because we need every coin for other important ventures in this country, Madam Speaker. Here is free money. Very important. So, Madam Speaker, I do not support that motion for the reasons that I have stated, because there's free money, grants. No one should pay back this money. It is all over the world. So just go and Google. Yes, so there is no need. So if anyone who wants to debate for that motion, from what I have debated, Madam Speaker, let them even withdraw. I support it. Thank you.
Oh, the Honorable Member from Ghana, I thought you should be encouraging people to support you. Now, if you start saying never doctor, what are you saying? Yeah, it's not good. We are not supposed to start evaluating each other. Can we have order? The next one is the Honorable Member. Is not there. Confessor is not there. The Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to...
Sorry. It's Kafinsa. I thought it was Kantashi. Sorry, Honorable Member for Chitambo. The next is Honorable
Speaker,
Member
it's my
for
junior, this one. You can even debate after me.
No, it was my mistake. Sorry.
Madam Speaker, allow me once again to thank your office for admitting this motion for debate. Madam Speaker, this is a very, very important motion. And Madam Speaker, I will not waste your time to begin explaining the reason why this motion is important. My submission, however, Madam Speaker, I'll try and simplify this motion. Madam Speaker, in my 4 years here, one of the things I've learned is that if you don't simplify the motion, it is possible that others may not buy into the idea. And this is why I want to simplify what the people of Unkana have submitted. And Madam Speaker, from the onset, the people of Kamfinsa support this proposal that we set up a fund. And Madam Speaker, I'll give very practical examples. We recently approved a law just within this parliament to set up what is called an artisanal mining fund.
Sorry, Honorable Member for Kamfisa, there is an indication for a point of order from the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Of order?
Relevance. Order number 71. Madam Speaker, Honorable for Kamfinsa used the term simplify. That's what, in his statement, that's what he said. The meaning of simplifying has this context of one not understanding. Meaning that the members in this house cannot get the actual meaning of the motion which is on the floor of the house. Is he in order, therefore, to lower? You see, you see, Madam Speaker, when we are in a representative house like this, we have to be very mindful of what we are. It's not good to assume fake or untruthful thinking trying to lower everybody here, that they cannot match with the motion. Madam Speaker, the word fund, is it so complex? Film, is it so complex that people cannot understand that motion? Is it in order, therefore, to lower this House to that level that we cannot understand the motion on the floor of the House? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I think it was maybe the choice of words in the context that they were put. Maybe the honorable member for Kamfisa can put it in a better acceptable manner instead of simplify. Because when you say simplify, like the honorable member for Kalabo has said, you are assuming that the people don't understand. So maybe you can use another word which means the same.
Madam Speaker, the opportunity I've been accorded today is to enable people to follow the conversation beyond the people that are seated today. And one of my mandates as a member of Parliament, Madam Speaker, is to allow the message to go to the wider majority out there. And that is what I'm going to do, Madam Speaker. I will explain what this motion is trying to achieve. Right. Madam Speaker, that is what I'm going to do. Yeah. And arising from that, Madam Speaker, you may be aware that this Parliament approved a law, Madam Speaker, to establish what is called an artisanal mining fund. There's a reason why an artisanal mining fund, Madam Speaker, has been approved by this Parliament. Because there are people that have to do business in the artisanal mining space. Government has to provide the money, Madam Speaker, for that category. This same Parliament, Madam Speaker, approved the establishment of the Tourism Development Fund. Madam Speaker, there are people that are good that want to work in the tourism space. And this government, Madam Speaker, this Parliament, decided that we need a fund to support those that want to venture into tourism. So today, Madam Speaker, and this is why I am standing to debate, Madam Speaker, to explain the fact that government now has to move a step further. Because those that are doing artisanal mining, Madam Speaker, a fund has been created. Those that have set up tourism facilities, Madam Speaker, there's a fund that has been set up. And I'm standing here, Madam Speaker, suggesting and supporting the motion that has been moved by my colleague, that can we now move a step further? Because people who are in the business of making films may not want to do mining, Madam Speaker. Those that want to do acting, those that want to raise the quality of our movies, Madam Speaker, may not want to go and do tourism development. They would rather set up a studio and be able to establish movies of good quality. And that is what the motion is saying, Madam Speaker, that can we go beyond mining, tourism, and these other key sectors which government has identified. I was expecting, Madam Speaker, that this is a motion that does not even need opposing views. For the simple reason, Madam Speaker, that it aligns with what the President was saying. Let us create jobs, Madam Speaker, in different sectors. We must not just create employment in limited sectors such as mining, tourism, agriculture. We must go a step further, Madam Speaker. Which is that step further, Madam Speaker? Provide money to people that want to do acting. Madam Speaker, tourism has created jobs for Zambians. The President said we have a lot of tourists coming into Zambia. Madam Speaker, licenses were being given by government in Mufumbwe last week. There's a fund that has been provided to support artisanal mining. Madam Speaker, we now need to go a step further. And this is why today, Madam Speaker, the people of Kamfinsa are asking the people of Zambezi West, Madam Speaker. The people of Kamfinsa are asking the people of Solwezi East, Madam Speaker, to support this motion for the simple reason, Madam Speaker, that jobs will be created. If the quality of our pictures Madam Speaker, improves, we are going to create employment. Madam Speaker, the people of Chimwemwe are supporting this motion. I'm very confident. The people of Kasenengwa, Madam Speaker, would want their jobs to be created.
Order, Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, order. Order, Honorable Member for Kamfinsa. There is an indication for a point of order.
Madam Speaker, you should have just allowed me to finish. He has already debated.
Order, Honorable Member. He is raising a point of order. Let me hear him, then I'll make a ruling.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Order and manner of speech, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just articulated my thinking and my thoughts, and I highlighted the platforms that are already in existence. We have more than 15 platforms that are grant-based. So, Madam Speaker, the people of Solwezi East do not need this fund because we already have a list for free. Is it in order, Madam Speaker, to say the people of Solwezi East should just support it when there is already a fund that is established worldwide?
Order. Honorable Member for, is it Solwezi East? Has already debated and has expressed his views. He could have been referred to by the Honorable Member for Kamfisa that he was should support. Maybe he was just urging. It was a manner of speech. It's just debating. So other members who also who are opposing will also express themselves. So let's allow the Honorable Member for Kamfisa to continue.
Madam Speaker, thank you for your guidance. And Madam Speaker, I want to emphasize in the few minutes that are remaining that, Madam Speaker, each sector has to contribute to our gross domestic product. Zambia's current GDP is 27 billion kwacha, Madam Speaker. $27 billion, Madam Speaker. $27 billion requires that the ICT space contributes. Madam Speaker, for us to achieve more than $27 billion, it demands that mining contributes. It also demands, Madam Speaker, that those that want to create good quality fumes are also supported so that they contribute to our GDP. Madam Speaker, this is a harmless proposal. And I'm calling it a harmless proposal, Madam Speaker, because it will not cause any harm. What it is going to do, Madam Speaker, if this fund is set up, Madam Speaker, the young men and women that are very good at acting, the many that have traveled across the globe and have come back and they want to do what others are doing, Madam Speaker, through this motion, Madam Speaker, we are going to create millionaires that are ready to act and give us the quality that we deserve. I am confident, Madam Speaker, each one of us believes that we need to create jobs for our people. We can't create jobs only for those that have to be formally employed. Let us also look at sectors, Madam Speaker, with huge potential. Madam Speaker, this is a motion that does not require me to start reading and pick out details because that has been done by the mover and the seconder. My proposal, my submission today, Madam Speaker, is that can we support government? The agenda of every government from independence to today is to create jobs for our people. How can we fail to support such a motion, Madam Speaker, that will present opportunities for our people? Madam Speaker, I speak with passion because I know there are young people in my constituency who've been asking me, Member of Parliament, when are we going to support those of us that want to go into what is called performing arts? Madam Speaker, film making is performing arts. You have the skill, you do not have the level of exposure in terms of education, but you know that you have the talent. Here is an opportunity, Madam Speaker, to give young people money to go and buy the equipment, to go and create the content, Madam Speaker, that is of good quality. My appeal to government, if your position was not to support this motion, Madam Speaker, let them reconsider their position. This is going to create jobs for your people, for our people, and for the people of Zambia. Madam Speaker, the people of Kamfinsa support the proposal that we set up a film fund to support the growth of our industry. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Zambezi East. Trying to balance the debate.
Madam Speaker, I sincerely thank you for the opportunity to debate this private member's motion, which is on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, at the outset, I wish to state that I do not support the motion that is on the floor of the House. I do not support the motion because there are systems that already exist. There are regulations that already exist which support these kind of avenues like the film industry, which players can tap in and benefit from those already arranged systems and already arranged grants, already arranged funds, internationally and locally here. And I'll itemize a few in my discourse. Madam Speaker, what is being proposed by the mover of the motion is actually falls under the intellectual property law, which is regulated by CAP 406 of the laws of Zambia. It is intellectual property because when one comes up with an idea, like a film, they own the copyright of that. And in Zambia, this is regulated by CAP 406 of the laws of Zambia. And in Section 2 of the same Act, it has actually defined even the film issues, which it calls as audiovisual works. So the audiovisual works are covered by that Act. But now, this is what we need to know. You are proposing a fund. This fund means that people will have to borrow money from there in order to progress here. First of all, the law has provided incentives for would-be players in this industry by giving them protection for them to own copyright. That is one incentive which you need to understand, which is already in place. Two, there is another incentive which is provided, but it caters across all sectors. That's why you even have the audacity of itemizing the artisanal licenses and the others, because it cuts across sectors. The same CDF funds which you are despising today can be tapped by artists. I can give you even a case in point. In Zambezi, we are on our way to building a structure which is going to be a studio, a radio station. It will have an annex for a studio which can be communally used by the youth and many other players for recording. And will provide funds to put in equipment. It is allowed in the CDF. Check the papers of the CDF. You can find that. So there are avenues which are already in existence. You can do that and propagate it in Nkana East, in Nkana constituency, or in Kamfisa constituency. This is one of them. The other one is the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, Act number 9 of 2006, which was enacted by this same House, gives an avenue for citizens to tap funds into that fund. It's a fund that exists. So what stops those people who have the hunger to go into the film industry to tap into that fund? What stops them from doing that? By putting up a good proposal, and then they get this equipment and they can record and make money. As long as the proposal makes sense, they can tap in that fund. What is difficult about them doing that? Even your own CDF. So how many of the youths have you supported so far in Nkana East from the CDF empowerment? So that you show us an example here. Madam Speaker, it just comes to that. Before we get to these wild suggestions which we make in order to try and please the youths out there and look like we are speaking on their behalf.
Order, Honorable Member for Zambezi East. The use of the word world, I don't think. Maybe you can use another term. You can withdraw that.
Madam Speaker, I sincerely apologize. When I get into that realm, I sometimes hit over the bar. And I would like to withdraw the word wild and replace it with I don't know how I can, unsubstantiated suggestions which are broadly concocted just to get some political mileage out there.
Now you are making it worse, concocted again, please.
Madam Speaker, I couldn't find any better replacement to that. But what I'm trying to do is to simply point it clear that we've got systems, we've got laws. I'm referring to these laws because these are the ones that incentivize people to get into such industry. Copyright is intellectual property, isn't it? Honorable Mungando agrees with me here because he's a scholar of law and he understands what copyright is all about. Yeah. And what you are doing is regulated by that piece of legislation. So we must understand it starting from there. Then we bring it down to other laws that bring in this fund. First of all, I've heard all of you proponents of this motion debate about a fund. What are the modalities of forming this fund? When we wanted to bring in the CDF, we brought a bill here. And today there is a CDF Act, which regulates how you can access those funds and how you can utilize them. So the fund you are proposing, how else do you want us to actually manage that fund? You see, you need to be very clear in your mind what you are proposing, because you could be duplicating something that already exists. The artisanal mining licenses and the funds that the youths may access, some of them might come through a CEEC, which is regulated by an Act of Parliament, Act number 9 of 2006. Also, the other avenue I'm suggesting to you, the CDF, actually, Madam Speaker, I'm trying to dwell much more on the local scene in order to supplement what my honorable colleague from Solwezi East has debated. Another avenue which I might not even know about, but I'm talking about local practical avenues which people can access. The problem which is there is, first of all, we are into denial of the fact that CEEC is accessible. We are into denial that the CDF empowerment funds are accessible and will support the same suggested avenues. So what else remains? Now, if we are into denial of the little things that are already in place, why should we then go out there to start proposing bigger things which we do not even have a structured way of implementing? Madam Speaker, I thought contributing in this way would help enlighten us to understand the avenues that already exist. Simple ones as they may seem, but this is what we are doing. I've given a clear practical example of Zambia East, where we are putting up a building which will house a radio station and it will have a studio. And the youths can access that facility. We, next year, will give them CDF to buy equipment for recording their music. Those who want to do films also can do the same. Madam Speaker, I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I begin by thanking the mover of this motion for choosing...
As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
The time on Parliament's TV is 16:40 and business has been suspended for 20 minutes. We do expect business to commence at 17 hours. Just to mention that Chitambo Member of Parliament, Mr. Remember Mtale, was just called upon to contribute to a motion. This is a private member's motion that was moved by Ghana Member of Parliament, Mr. Binwo Mpundu, and the motion is to set up a film fund that in order to promote the growth of the film industry in Zambia, this House urges the government to set up a film fund. So I expect debate on this particular motion to continue at 17 hours. Joe, just a quick look at what has taken place on the floor of the House so far.
Yes, indeed, so business did commence at 14:30 hours, and Madam Speaker made two announcements. In the first announcement, she did recognize the presence in the public gallery of PPUs and teachers from Nakambala Private Primary School in Mazabuka District, as well as PPUs and teachers from Roigeo Christian School in Isaka District. And on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam Speaker welcomed the visitors to the institution.
Madam Speaker also made a ruling, and this ruling was by the Honorable Madam Speaker on a complaint by Dr. C. Andaleki, Member of Parliament for Katambola constituency, against Mr. Francis Kapyanga, Member of Parliament for Pika constituency, over statements attributed to Mr. Francis Kapyanga in an article entitled "Stand as MP to Debate Freely." Kapyanga tells Speaker Muti. This was published in News Diggers newspaper, issue number 2031, dated Friday, 4th July 2025. So you recall that after she had delivered this ruling, a question was put as to whether Mr. Kapyanga should be suspended for 14 days, but division was called for since some members of parliament did not agree with that. And after the question was put and voting had taken place, that was when the House resolved that Mr. Kapyanga be suspended from the House for 14 days. And then after that ruling, we did have urgent matters without notice. Joe?
Yes, after consideration of urgent matters without notice, we did see the House considering 4 ordinary questions, and I'll be able to give you the details after business for today.
Yes, indeed, we'll be able to give you those details, but for now we take a short break. We'll be with you on the other side.